In the last couple of minutes, actually, while we've been on the air, we found out that a jury has come to a verdict in the trial of former Louisville officer Brett Hankison. Remember, stemming from that deadly raid that ended in the death of Breonna Taylor. And the jury finding him not guilty on all counts of wanton endangerment. He's the only one of the 3 officers involved in the shooting that was charged at all. But keep in mind, neither he nor any of the other officers were charged with actually killing Breonna Taylor. Remember, this was the endangerment charge for bullets that went into her neighbor's apartment, the source of much controversy some months ago that Hankison, in the eyes of some, had not been charged with something more directly. I want to bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos. Danny, I know you're tracking this. Can you bring us up to speed on what we know?
We know that a jury is acquitted, as you reported, Brett Hankison. And basically, in the closing arguments, it was all about the reasonableness of his response to what he testified about was a perceived threat. And you see him there testifying about believing he saw a rifle, a long gun, shooting, in his words, I believe, executing one of his fellow officers or his brother officers, as they often say. He runs around the house. He fires into the window. I think this would be a very different outcome if those bullets had actually struck anyone. Instead, he was charged only with wanton endangerment for what his bullets didn't strike, which is the people in that other apartment who arguably had nothing at all to do with anything and were just civilian casualties.
We saw Hankison in tears at one point on the stand when he took the stand in his own defense. Are you surprised by this outcome, by the jury's verdict here?
First, I am no longer surprised that a defendant in a high-profile case took the stand only because in the last year, we've seen it in virtually every single high-profile case, and not just firearms cases. There is a massive trend underway in high-profile cases, and defendants, for the first time, maybe in the history of our judicial, of criminal trials, are feeling confident about taking the stand. That doesn't change the fact that everything's about credibility. And if this defendant wasn't credible, the jury would not have acquitted him. So they must have found him credible. And more specifically, they found his belief in the reasonable use of force in that moment to be credible.
Danny Cevallos, thank you so much for that. Again, Brett Hankison, according to a jury, not guilty of those endangerment charges against him. Danny, thanks.